Thank you for listening to today's episode of Morons of Madness. Please visit our social media pages and give us a like or a follow. Every follow, like, share, and download helps get us a little bit closer and into the ears of more and more people. Please also leave us a review on iTunes and Facebook, as well as visit our Patreon page. All the links are in the description below. Now, on to our scheduled episode. January 6th, 1923, London. 5 adventurers gather, drawn together by an insidious plot designed by a dread hand. Drawn together to embark on a journey from the River Thames to the shores of the Bosphorus. Traveling through Europe on a coal-powered palace, they'll combat terrors ancient and new. They'll see the wounds of the World War just recently ended, and the rumblings of another yet to come. They'll experience opulence rarely seen, and terrors unimaginable. Join us now for the horror on the Orient Express.
So welcome back to Morons of Madness, play horror on the Orient Express. This week we are entering the city of Poissy. Everyone is getting on a train the next morning to go to the city of Poissy. It's only 17 miles, so it's a pretty quick train ride, probably like 20 minutes, half hour.
Is this something that we would leave all of our belongings, or would we be packing up, bringing our belongings?
You could leave everything.
Okay.
You expect it to only be a day trip. It's only 17 miles. What's everybody doing?
I'm gonna bring my poison pills, my my knife.
Forgot about those poison pills.
Well, I definitely have my satchel.
A lantern with me, a lighter to light said lantern.
So that it's not awkward me carrying
My
an
snuff
empty
box.
satchel. It also has the leather briefcase with all of the Macriot papers in it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I'm making sure that I let you know what I'm bringing.
Appreciate it. You guys show up to the train station and get out. It's a small town.
Really quick. I believe the night before we never finished my rolling for what was the night before.
You gained 10 people.
That was the first night. There's been two nights. That was the night after we got done at the
Roll a
library.
Constitution.
All right. 34 under 55.
Okay. You're not exhausted the next morning.
Great.
Let's roll charisma, persuade.
Sure. There isn't a charisma, that's right.
Sorry, there is a charm,
which I suck at. Persuade. Which I
persuade,
suck
and
worse at.
intimidate.
No, we'll try and charm. That's awful.
How awful was it?
97.
Okay. You you're not, after last night's success, you're feeling a little full of yourself, and your desperate mojo the night before is just not there. You're talking the same game, but the enthusiasm.
I went a little too heavy on the zealotry.
The train winds through small suburban towns and hamlets before entering the Forêt de Saint-Germain, a dense, brooding expanse of woods where animal tracks can be seen in the snow on either side of the rails. At last the forest opens, there are some fields, silent and desolate under the snow, and then the first small houses, and then on the right of the track passengers will see the Seine, just a few dozens of yards away. You pull up. Everyone roll me a spot hidden as you get out of the...
Success.
1 success.
I rolled a 10.
8.
What'd you get?
32 to my 61.
53 to my 53.
53 to your 53,
Yeah,
really?
53 to my 53. Just right on the
All right. I guess you guys really want to do well tonight. You all see a welcoming sign on the opposite side of the train platform, near a place called the Hotel Restaurant La Rose Blanche. Is a Pharmacie de la Guerre, an English chemist. You guys would know that this is a French town and they mostly all speak French. So unless you guys want to find a bunch of French-speaking people to speak French to, the English chemist is probably your safest bet to figure out what's going on in the town.
By the way, these rolls.
So the English pharmacist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I take it it's within walking distance.
Most of the things in this town are. It's a small little town, probably not much bigger than a. Yeah.
Okay.
Do we have a?
1,000.
Is there a map that we can gather from the train station? Because
Yes, they would probably have a billboard map.
I'm going to take out my journal and scribble it out with important areas of things. The areas of importance. That's the words I was trying to use.
Okay.
The anatomy, I'll say.
Can you read French?
No, but I'm still like marking like if there's like a library symbol or something. Like obviously there's.
But you
going
can't
to be,
read
like,
the key, so you don't know what
Well-
library symbol is.
I'm copying it down.
Okay.
So if we have any questions,
A
I can
simplified
ask-
version, though, because really copying that down would take hours.
Yes, it's a crude version of this map.
Dude, just take a picture.
Roll me. You probably don't have art.
I have art, which is music and compose, but that's
Actually, you know what? Compose yourself a map.
I think we all have like 5%.
Are you kidding me?
5%.
I
You get
rolled a
100?
98 to my 75. I'm gonna push this. I got a 30.
Do a decent scrap. You're confident in your cartography. And about two houses down from there, you can see the pharmacy that you saw advertised earlier.
Vernon enters the pharmacy.
Does he walk to
It is
first?
during time. Well, yeah, I asked if it was in walking distance.
Yeah, it's literally right in front of the map or next to the map you guys were already looking at.
What time of day is it?
I would say it's probably about 11.
So it would be open.
Yep.
Okay.
Bonjour. Comment ça va?
Hello, you are English?
Oh, thank God. Yes, yes. Fellow Englishmen, it's good to see you on this side of the channel. How can I help you?
I'm looking for an estate. It would be abandoned about now.
Okay. Well, I can't direct you to any abandoned estates. You probably have some good luck finding those kind of things at the town hall. It's literally like 2 blocks that way.
None of us really speak French in this group of laws.
Annie, don't you speak French?
Do you speak French?
No, I don't think so.
She speaks Italian.
I speak Russian, Italian, English, and Swedish.
So no, she does not speak French.
Yeah.
Don't you speak French?
No.
I think French is the only language we don't have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Like, I guess I could speak a little bit of broken as fuck French because technically I served in France.
No,
No.
I'm not going to give that to you.
I know enough French in that French and Italian are both Romance languages.
That's not going to do you much good.
All right.
What does your day look like?
Well, I take lunch in about a half hour.
Would you possibly be able to accompany us to translate?
Roll a charm or persuade.
Can I assist on the charm?
Sure.
Good. Would he?
Ooh, I got a
plus
7.
Yeah, he got it.
Hmm?
I got a 7.
Yeah, I'm not gonna roll.
Yeah, I suppose helping out a fellow Brit feels about right in this frog-eating hellhole.
I really thought you were American.
Don't mind the yank.
I'm sorry, I should have affected my speech.
I really thought I had someone to talk to about, Jackie Robinson, Dodgers.
Well, you have found yourself on the wrong side of the pond.
That's
Quite.
nice.
I am trying to effect my best BBC America,
That's rough.
speaking voice.
Who is
Unfortunately, that's a very halting manner of speaking.
So, off to the Hall of Records
The town hall.
town hall.
You guys just kill a half hour. What are you doing?
Well, I was waiting for him to finish drawing, so whatever.
Yeah, I was.
I'm staying by
So you're
him
spending
while
like
he
a whole
does.
half hour just
Oh,
like
yeah.
etching.
drawing
just-
this map.
What was his name again?
His name is Monsieur Espandero. The most English name possible.
That is done. Espandera?
Spandex.
Spaniard.
Mr. Spanish.
Oh,
He is an
Mr.
Englishman
Spanish, the
in France
Englishman.
named Mr. Spanish.
El Senor Spanish.
So what brings you to this side of the channel?
me and my colleagues are looking for a piece of a statue called.
That's an odd thing to. Is it like famous? Would I know of it? So lunch shows up and Mr. Spanish walks out of his.
Use his
his-
proper name, Dave.
No, he's Mr. Spanish now. So Mr. Spanish walks you down the hall. Down the street, and
I'll be joining.
okay. Does everyone join Mr. Spanish?
Am I done right? Am I done copying?
We'll say, yeah.
Sounds
You've
great.
had a half hour. You've got the
Oh,
best.
yeah.
You've
Oh,
got
yeah.
the best version of that map you're gonna get.
Yeah.
So Mr. Spanish leads you guys to the town hall, and he walks in. He's like, "Bonjour, comment ça va?" And the guy responds, and they have like a back and forth in French. So he's talking. I would like one of you guys to kind of make a charm or a fast talk roll.
I'll
Through
show some
him.
ankle.
Through him?
Yes, like assisting him in his trying to get records,
Oh,
and he's
like,
like,
we can look like pleasant people.
"Yeah, I'll be right back.
Oh,
I gotta go
I got
grab the
this.
actual map." So everyone's
Charles and I are debating the map. We're not paying attention to charming.
okay.
I am charming.
Of course you are.
I don't need it.
I'm pretty sure two's
I
over here, and this was actually the three.
Okay.
I
So Mr. Spanish turns around and he says, "So what can I help you guys look for?"
Silence Manor.
Fenelix Manor. Do
Member?
you guys know when that? Like, do you have like an address? Do you have like like some sort of
It's
idea?
on the west side.
Okay. I guess that narrows it down.
There was a raid there in 1789, if that helps us narrow it down.
1789. I guess you guys could go looking in the records. I could get you access, but I gotta go back to my shop after that. Okay, I can probably give you like 20 more minutes of my fantastic French knowledge, and then I gotta go back to my shop. As it is, does anyone have anything to eat? This is my lunch break, and I am famished.
How much would you say you make at the end of the day at your shop?
Oh man, I don't know. Not a ton.
What if we were able to pay you for your time?
I would need someone to go back and put a sign up saying that I wasn't going to be back this afternoon.
can do it.
I don't trust you.
I'll do it.
You could.
I'll go.
Okay.
I will follow.
You see him write some stuff down in French. He's like, just affix this, close the door, affix this to the front, and then lock the door behind you.
I'll
Sure.
follow.
Do you have a key?
No, it's just
It's
one of
not
those.
locked, it's
It's just, and he just hands you the key.
Yeah, okay, key, pocket.
Yes.
I
So,
follow it.
okay. So I need the three of you to make library rolls. Okay. So library rolls from the four of you.
Yep, 12.
The three of them.
If that was not great.
I didn't get it.
No,
Can get it.
Just-
Second time in this
Oh,
campaign.
okay, cool.
33 under 37.
I just missed it.
Don't
Now,
worry, guys. I got this.
When it comes to pushing rolls, can I?
Why don't you just redo your roll after?
Also,
I know. I'm gonna
got two
wait to see
successes
how
next
those
to you.
two do, and
There are
then
2 successes next
Yeah.
to you.
if they seem to have achieved everything, then
Alright.
I'm just fine. Otherwise, I'll try again.
Okay, so you spend the better part of the afternoon going through 18th century documents,
It's all
trying
very
to.
legible.
Yes.
And in French.
Mr. Spanish is like at the end of it, it's just like rubbing his temples, just like, I hate the French. I hate the French. I hate the French. I'm moving back to Portugal. Eventually, you manage to find where the Comps villa used to be. You find out that it was raised after the raid.
Rebuilt.
How many?
Something was built on top of it, yes. You find out after a very long time and a lot of work between all of you that it currently belongs to a Dr. and Madame Christian Luren. It is 6 Enclos de l'Abbé Poissy.
How common
Yeah,
were
yes.
cellars back in the day?
Pretty common.
Yeah, it's a root cellar. That's
Uh,
where they would store everything.
Then you hear a yelp from Mr. Spanish. He says, I found the actual floor plans, guys.
Perfect.
Great.
That's awesome.
Shall we see the actual floor plan? Thank you.
Is this the floor plan to the new villa, or is this the floor plan to the existing, or to the old?
It's the existing.
Okay.
So,
This is a really nice property. Like, are any guys looking to invest? Because like, I live above the chemist, which not the best place to live. Kind of cramped quarters. Also, people try to break in all the time because the French love their snuff.
Really?
Is this all that was on file? Was the 2 floors?
And he
No
just kind of like
underfloor.
paused through. No, I can't seem to find anything about a cellar.
Is there any floor plans for the villa previous?
No. No, it looks like they were all removed.
Basic economic laws. If there's no buyers, there's no sellers.
Removed. Great.
And this house is for sale? This house is currently for sale.
No, he's just
Yeah.
looking. He's like looking at the property. He's like, "This is actually a really nice."
I mean, the best thing to do. We need a French translator, though. If we want to civilly do this. Shall we go to this address and visit the doctor and madame?
Man,
We
I could-
desperately need a French
you
translator.
kind of made me skip lunch, and I am starving. Can we
Is
like
there
grab
a
dinner on the
cafe?
way?
Is there a cafe on the way?
It's France. There's a cafe every 12 feet. By this time, I assume Heinrich is back. It's about 4:30, 5 o'clock. We'll say 4:30. So you go back towards the train station, and you go past a very large church. Does anyone want to look at the church?
Nope.
Like
Yep.
just visually, like we don't have to.
I don't see it.
We don't actually have to like go in.
No, you don't have to. It's just a big church.
I look
No,
at the church, but
I
I
don't
don't
get it.
register anything.
Visually a church.
It's visually a church.
It's
Was
just
this,
visually
was this just a spot hidden?
Yeah.
It's,
Oh, well,
it's visually a steeple.
I spot.
I don't.
Okay. You see a big ass church named the Church de Colonel Notre Dame de Poissy.
Did I know that?
It's on a big sign in front.
Great.
What that means to you in French, I don't know.
Do you point it out to the man with the map?
No.
Okay, so you guys walk past, and you arrive at Chez Lorraine. You see a house surrounded by a large crumbling brick wall, obviously of 18th century work. The walls are in part supported by massive climbing rose bushes, which cover them completely. The roses would be incredibly beautiful in the spring if it were not winter. They are grim and foreboding in the winter. So it's just a house covered in thorns.
Cool.
There's a small gateway, but no gate, to the 2-story brick house. Smoke is emanating from the chimney, and lights fill up all the rooms in the downstairs windows.
Vernon and Mr. Spanish would walk up to the door first.
Okay, you just knock on the door.
Yes.
You see a energetic man with a very poofy mustache answer the door. He says, "Bonjour." "Oh, Monsieur Spanish. What brings you here today?" And Mr. Spanish says, "Christian, great to see you, buddy. This is my new friend Vernon." And he points to the gate where the rest of you are. Says, "Those are also my friends. I'll introduce them when they get here. They were looking into the history of your house. They came all the way from Paris." And Christian says, "Oh, wonderful! I love discussing my house. It's quite unique." And he beckons the rest of you. "Allons-y. Come in." And he introduces you to his 4-year-old. He invites you all in, and he introduces himself as Christian Laurent, and his 3-year-old daughter. He says his wife is upstairs. Unfortunately, she's been taken by some sickness, so she won't be joining us.
So we just sit down in the parlor.
Yeah, he invites you to sit down, and what brings you to my house?
So originally we were looking for an estate for the Comte Fenelac that was on these grounds.
What were you looking for in the estate? My house has been here for 200 years.
We understand that his estate was raided. He did have possibly a part of an artifact, a very important artifact that we are hired to search for, and to its archaeological benefits, we possibly I have looked at the floor plans of your estate or your manor, and I noticed there was no cellar or basement.
No, I don't know as if we've ever had a cellar.
Do you know?
But you know what? This does remind. I'm gonna go make coffee and try and find a letter I received a few months ago. If you would just sit here, I'll be right back.
Where is your water closet? Restroom?
Random room A.
Actually,
It's probably outside.
he says.
I mean, it's
He says.
right?
Quiteri, why don't you show the nice German man the bathroom? And the little girl grabs you by the hand and starts like dragging you upstairs. So he goes in and starts making coffee, and Quittery takes you upstairs.
Okay.
Can I do something to sort of do an insight roll to see if he's acting funny?
Sure.
That'd be like a listen.
Psychology. Or psycho.
Yeah, it would be
Oh,
like
I can do that.
psychology.
I can
I
do
can roll
that.
psychology.
Psychology. Yeah.
I succeed.
I also succeed 19.
I also succeed.
You guys can all tell that this guy is just really excited to tell people about his house.
Sounds great.
You guys all notice that on the one of the hands of Christian is a massive like scar on the back of his hand.
He must get his hand
Is it
climbed
healed?
all
A
the
healed
time.
scar or a fresh wound?
It just looks really nasty scar.
But like, is it well healed or fresh?
It's hard to tell.
And Andy's the only one that sees this.
Plus, I'm the only one in the house that's well healed.
I don't get what that means.
So Quateri comes screaming down back stairs and wraps her arm around her dad's hand or leg and just starts like wailing. And he takes some time to console her, and then walks back in with a tray of coffee for everyone and a letter. Who would like to read?
I can read it. To whom it may concern, I realize that I am a complete stranger and that this letter may mean nothing to you. My name is Edgar Wellington, and I am researching the history of a statue known most commonly as the simulacrum. I recently came into possession of an old scroll which presents an intriguing description of the item. This piqued my interest, and I am now endeavoring to trace the simulacrum. My search has led me to your address. The name is probably meaningless to you, but through my researches, I have learned that the last recorded resting place of the piece of art was in the house that occupied your land in the late 18th century. The statue is a unique Arabian artifact lost during the events of 1789. Its last owner was a German nobleman who once lived where you live today. Please, I ask that if you have heard of any local stories regarding this item, or maybe found any traces of the old house and its possessions on your land, which might give a clue as to the eventual fate of the object, would you be so kind as to write to me with a summary of the information? I apologize for the rather strange nature of my request, but I feel that I should pursue whatever leads remaining to me. I hope that you will not go to any great lengths regarding this. Yours most sincerely, Edgar Wellington.
Charles, as you're sitting there, after Quateri has been calmed down, she comes and sits on your lap.
Hi, little girl.
Don't move.
You
they
speak
sense
funny.
fear.
You look funny.
She checks her hair, and she holds up a hand, and you can see her left hand has just got like a door mark across it. What are you doing? Sorry, Heinrich, what are you doing?
I am using the facilities. So I'll finish up, pull the plunger, wash my hands.
Have some more flashbacks to your comrades coming out of the lake.
And then start heading out of the door. But as I'm walking out of the door, I'm going to look around.
Okay.
Not peek into places, but look at pictures or...
That
see if
seems
there's
like a really
anything.
pretty normal, what you would imagine a French house to look like.
Okay.
You imagine what it'd be like to have a family one day in your own house like this.
Do you open any doors to look in?
Can I hear anything?
You hear the commotion downstairs, but
Yeah, I don't hear like walking up to the doors. I don't hear.
No, you don't hear any like zombies behind doors.
Troubled
no one's
breathing.
chanting anything. Actually, roll slot hidden.
16.
Okay. You look out the window and you look into the backyard, and you see what is like pretty much a flat field surrounded by some nice trees. But I mean, it's all dead because it's winter, but there's no snow on the ground. So you see kind of like a weird, shallow, not pit, but like a dent in the ground.
Okay, concave.
Yeah, a concave dent that doesn't seem to make any sense in terms of the rest of the.
Is it just just a dirt like dunk? Does it have any like rocks or markings?
No, it just looks like a regular backyard,
Okay.
and there's just like a little dent right
A little
in the middle.
dent. Okay.
Yep.
Like what shows up when they're finding a cave or a dwelling under the earth.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Shallow grave, shallow grave, shallow grave.
Like a pond.
Christian offers, you know, if you guys like to stay and discuss the house, I'd be more than happy to have dinner for you all. So he offers you guys dinner and says, I probably can't put all of you up in my house tonight. Well, Mr. Spanish, you probably have enough room between you and I to put everyone up if you want for the night. And Mr. Spanish goes, guess I could. Yeah, if you guys wouldn't mind compensating, if you guys wouldn't mind compensating me for yet another day, I would appreciate it greatly. And in fact, if you guys could pay me for the first day,
Pay them out.
I don't know anything about paying anybody.
Listen, you're the one with all the money. We all know it.
Why don't we have the gentleman that requested, that asked to pay pay the man.
Yes, I can pay that. I have no problem.
Okay. Yeah, he takes your $10 bill, and he says, "Oh, good, British pounds." That's right. Thanks. I mean, sorry, Christian. After a while, he starts making dinner. He quickly ducks upstairs for a second, and his wife comes down. She's wearing like a nightgown, like a large nightgown that covers literally everything, and generally just keeps her hands folded like this. Hey Charles, can you roll me a dex?
Sure. Oh. It's not even that bad, actually. Let's see, my luck's at 40
Why
right
did you
now.
push that?
Oh, because when I push things, fucking really bad stuff happens. But I've got this luck to spend, so I'm going to spend 5, 6, 7 luck. And I make it.
So as her mom comes down, Quateri does like a quick turn and knocks the coffee in your hand, and it spills all over her and your crotch.
I passed.
Yeah, and if it had been not passed, it would have been damaging, scalding hot in your face.
Thank God for cold coffee.
And again, Quateri goes screaming into the kitchen and wraps her arm around her dad.
Does she not see her mom?
She's a bit of a klutz.
You can tell her mom looks pretty sickly. And everyone sits down for a nice meal.
What are we having?
Duck. It's very nice. Her name is Veronica. So Mr. Spanish and Veronica are talking, and Veronica brings up the fact that she and Christian just went to the opera the other day.
Wow.
And they saw the famous soprano Caterina Cavallero.
Can I do a
Paris,
credit
Paris.
rating to see if I'm more famous than she is?
You
Can I do a credit rating to see if I know her?
Yes.
On a personal level.
Yeah.
That would just be an intelligence.
Oh, just an intelligence.
I crushed that. I beat it at hard.
Okay.
I got it at a 4. I
You-
know her.
If you she is the Hillary Duff to your Britney Spears.
Okay, that makes sense.
After like the main course of the dinner,
Mhm.
I'm just gonna excuse myself and tell the gentleman, homeowner, that he's got a lovely, spacious outdoors out and back.
Yes. It's great. Quatari loves playing back there.
Oh yeah? If you would excuse me, I'd love to take a walk around your grounds before the sun goes down.
Of course. Actually, the sun's probably going to go down. I'll
Very
say
good.
I'll say you've got the last dim lights.
Yeah.
So
You can
I'd
also
probably
take a
like a good-
lantern. Yes.
if only someone had brought a lantern.
Well, somebody did.
I
bring
have
a lantern.
He is also at a house who has a
Yeah, who's
lantern.
most likely gonna
Yeah.
lantern.
So he gives you his lantern,
Okay.
and just be careful. There's a little dip in the middle that I've tripped over a ton of times.
How little is it?
It's just enough to like mess with your feet as you're walking past
So
it.
it's like a foot.
No, like 6 inches.
No, messes with your feet.
Oh.
Yeah,
just
not
like,
not
whoa.
takes you out when you step
Yeah.
in. So you go outside.
Yeah, go outside. So I'm just gonna walk around the grounds and then head towards the divot I saw earlier.
Okay.
You're doing this without telling anybody, right? I mean, other than
Yeah,
we all know
you
that
all
you're going
know that
out,
I'm going outside.
but
with
that's
a
about
lantern.
it. That's about it. We don't
Yeah.
know what you're doing.
No.
Okay.
So you walk out of the backyard and you look at the divot.
Yes.
That's
I'm,
different.
I'm just walking around the property and then
Yep.
looking at the divot.
Yep, the divot is quite.
See if
Long.
there's a handle.
Is it loose?
No, it's-
dirt, or is it just
No,
like
it's been there for a
actually
while.
sodden? And
Yep.
is there anything?
It's just kind of a sullen space, just kind of a divot.
Okay. Is there anything? Can I do a spot hidden or a search?
No, it's just a divot.
Okay.
Christian says he has to take Quit back upstairs to bed, and comes back down. And as he takes her away, you guys can see that her left arm is just like puffy and red from the coffee.
It's also the arm that she always slammed in the door.
She's having a rough day of it. So yeah, is there anything else you guys want to say to?
I mean, while they're outside doing that, we're probably inside talking opera
Yeah.
Okay.
We're
Yeah.
all inside.
with Veronica.
Yeah, everyone's inside except for.
On the outside, is the church on the other side of the building, or?
Oh no, the church is like a way away.
Oh, it's a way away.
I'm
Alright.
investigating any ventilation systems in this building. Like, you know, even if they're just like.
Oh, you mean
like
like
bell
I thought you
ropes.
were like I'm gonna slip a tank of gas in there.
No.
Blow it up.
No, like listening for like excess airflow or
No, you don't seem to find anything ridiculous.
you know, like pulling out some books.
Yeah, so you keep like tipping books back, and they're just books.
I go outside to see what the crowd's up to
Okay.
because I don't want to talk opera.
Okay.
Yeah, who doesn't?
You go outside and you just see him staring at the ground.
Oh, fan of the ground much?
Well, I mean, I was up using the facilities, and I noticed there's quite peculiar divot in the ground that isn't filling up with water because it's been raining all day.
It is not.
You said it's been raining
You
in
didn't.
Pusey.
I did actually.
You
Oh, you
did
did?
say it's
Yeah.
raining in
I
Pusey.
thought it was
times.
winter.
Yeah.
Oh.
No,
It's
it
still
is winter,
now,
but
and it's raining today.
And
No, it's actually spring now.
I mean, if this was,
If
if the original building was demolished,
This could be a part of the
this could be
foundation.
part of the foundation.
So where do you think Chris keeps his shovel?
Don't know. Walking back here, I mean, there's probably a shed that's attached to the building, or a ways away from the building, or. But I mean, I haven't found anything that looks like an entrance, and like this doesn't look like an entrance. It's all completely sodden over, and
Well, yeah, I'm sure that they raised it and filled it. We'll have to make our own entrance, is what I'm saying. So I guess let's look for a tool.
you guys can go exploring for a shovel. Both of you roll me a luck.
I just blew luck.
yeah, my luck isn't good, and I didn't get it.
33 to my 33.
Okay. You find a shovel. As that's happening, you guys hear Quitty scream again and come sprinting downstairs. This time, she complains of seeing someone in her window. And Veronica says, I should probably turn in for the night. I apologize. It was lovely talking opera with you two.
It's always nice to meet a fan.
Absolutely.
I will remember this night fondly. And she
Until she dies.
she goes back upstairs.
As a gentleman, can I ask if I
Well-
could escort her to her room? Because I know that she's ill, that she might need assistance.
Okay, a roll spot hidden with advantage.
That was a 71. That's a 41. I got it.
Okay. As she, you go to reach for her hand to escort her up,
Yeah.
and she goes to give you her left hand, and then like brings it back in, and like moves to the other side of the stairs, and gives you her right hand. When she went to give you her left hand, it was like arthritic and like just like bent all over the damn place.
Oh. Okay.
But you go upstairs. She thanks you again for the night and retires to their room. Christian comes out of Quitty's room and says, "I apologize. It's been quite a tedious night, hasn't it?"
Absolutely.
And you guys both walk back downstairs. Charles, Heinrich, you find the shovel. Did you just start digging?
Have you found a shovel?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
rolled-
found
rolled-
the shovel.
Yeah,
I
you
didn't
found the shovel with your luck roll.
Would you like to take the first round?
I think we should try to, if we're gonna actually dig in this gentleman's backyard.
We should not tell them. You're right. You should start digging.
Okay, but let's have some strategy so we're not just digging
Here's
holes.
the strategy. I rip the bottom off my case.
Fuck. So Mr. Spanish walks out the door to light up a cigarette. You pull out your gun?
Yes, I pull out my gun.
Okay, Mr. Spanish sees that, and you just see his eyes go wide. Mr. Spanish goes, Monsieur, there are no wolves in this area. Put the gun away.
I will gladly hold it in my pocket. Would you like to come hold this lantern for us?
Why do you need me to hold the lantern?
Well, so that I can see in case I need to use this gun, and so he can see while he digs.
Why are you digging in this man's backyard?
Why am I digging in this man's backyard?
You know why you're digging in this man's backyard.
That still doesn't explain the reason why I'm digging in this man's backyard.
Because I'm holding the gun. I can't hold a gun and dig at the same time.
Mr. Spanish looks shaky, but he walks over and takes the lantern.
Thank you.
And walks inside.
I roll a 40 on my persuade. That is a success. It's nothing special. It's just a success. To convince Charles here that we can't just be digging in random places straight down.
It's not straight down. We have a clear outline. We see the foundation of the building.
We don't see the foundation. It's just a yard.
No. There's a clear depression here.
Just because there's a
That
depression
has clear
doesn't mean-
edges. We know what used to be on this land. You're the one who even pointed out the draining of the water that isn't pooling, but instead is draining. We have enough information to go on. If we want to find the relic piece, it is most likely within the foundation of this.
I agree that there's the foundation, but where there is no entrance here, there will be another entrance elsewhere.
No. This is a raised building. They crumbled the building, used all of its bits to fill in the hole, and then used dirt to fill in the remainder.
So, what are you three doing to keep Christian talking?
We don't know that they're out there doing this.
Of course you don't.
That's true.
But what else are you going to do with
It's
Mr. Christian other than
possibly
talking?
time to turn in for the night. Everyone else is.
Yeah.
And I would like to get a fresh start on a new day.
Mr.
Don't
Christian
ask
gets
where
a
your friends
snifter
are.
of brandy and
You
says,
going
would
outside.
anyone else like a pour?
You're going out.
Absolutely. That sounds fantastic.
He pours you a glass. Where
because
are your friends?
We haven't come back in yet.
I'll take one too.
He pours you a snifter of brandy.
Cool.
And goes to the library.
And
All right,
now
so-
just-
Well, what happened to your
immediately-
friends? Where did your friends go?
Good.
I'm not really
I don't
sure.
have a
They're,
choice when you
they're
go
kind
and
of
pull out the
outside.
gun.
I'm pointing it at
They may
you.
That doesn't mean that you
Mr.
won't be.
Spanish isn't here. Maybe you took them along with to retire for the night.
Oh, he did say he would put up maybe.
Question. In regards to where we are in the sitting room, I assume that's where we are having our coffee or after dinner espresso.
Mhm.
We're having brandy.
Sorry, I thought we were still having coffee. I'm English. I'm having tea, chamomile. With the backyard, would we be? Is there windows to the backyard from where we are sitting, or no?
You're sitting way up here and we're way back there.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're
You're
on the
sitting in the
opposite side of
sitting room and we're up there. So this
True.
is the entrance.
True.
This is the
Yeah.
I'm
back.
glad that
No.
we're not standing in the sitting room.
Christian says, if you guys would like to stay out, I can make up the couches, and there's one room for the lady, if you'd like.
That would be lovely.
So he goes upstairs and starts setting up the thing. I need whoever's shoveling right now to give me a strength roll.
Success.
Okay. After about a
Under,
half hour of shoveling, if you start on the farthest side, you hit stone. And then you dig a little bit further, and suddenly there's no stone there. And you dig down a little bit, and you hit stone. And then you dig a little further, and you think you hit steps.
Oh,
Is what I'm
okay.
saying.
Cool. Good. This is what I was hoping to find, not just a random pit.
Mr. Spanish is just sitting there with his cigarette. He's like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing out here in this French countryside.
while it's
Holes.
raining
With a crowd and an American.
and no umbrella.
Mr. Spanish, an Englishman who lives in France, is hanging out with a German and an American. You guys all go to bed, I assume.
Yep.
I think that I would probably stay up
And
speaking
compose.
with Well, I do have to. I
After-
do need to.
He might not be able to sleep. Isn't that one
Yeah.
of the things?
After a couple hours, Christian says, "I think I'll retire for the night. I'll see you in the morning."
Sounds great.
Roll sanity.
I don't make it.
Okay. You don't sleep tonight.
I'm gonna wander the main floor and try to find something to play music
Okay.
on.
As you wander the main floor, you look out one of the windows in the back, and you see a floating light in the middle of the backyard. You also
But you're
see
also really tired and you might be hallucinating.
While I'm looking, I will like. Can I do a spot hidden to see if I can recognize like figures?
you can make it out.
Do I recognize like
Yeah.
body shapes?
Yeah.
Oh, I absolutely go outside.
Okay. As he walks up, you guys have spent like 3 hours digging a hole, and you have now found a cellar entrance, and that is where we are going to leave off tonight.
Guys, really, thanks again for listening to today's episode of Morons of Madness. We've been uploading since February of 2019, and we didn't think anyone was listening. However, in just this short 5 months, we've had over 600 unique downloads with listeners in every corner of the world, which seems impossible because it's a sphere. This just blows my mind, and we couldn't do it without each and every one of you. So thanks. As we wrap on this season of Morons of Madness, Horror on the Orient Express, we want to inform you what's up next for the Morons of Madness. We're going to be transitioning into a homebrew campaign penned by Dave called The Silver Quadrille. You can expect Season 1 of D&D to be just as riveting, if not more fun, than Horror on the Orient Express. And we hope that everyone will continue to join us for that new adventure. If you have enjoyed Horror on the Orient Express, don't fear. Let us know on social media. We'd be more than happy to bring it back for another season. I'm not saying that money talks, or that you can pay for what content you get from us, but, you know, there's a Patreon link in the bottom of this description, if you really like Call of Cthulhu.